Welcome to another episode of the Sipping and Tripping podcast, where we connect with amazing people. Today's conversation is all about love, marriage, faith, and personal growth. I am your host, Desmond Black, and the two people that sipping and tripping with me today is none other than Mr. and Mrs. Marquis and Taylor Williams. And together, they will share their unique story and show us that love is not only possible, but it is also powerful. Today is all about real love, real stories, and real life. How you guys doing today? And how's your week so far?
We're good and we're hot.
Same.
Yeah, I know we was just talking about the heat wave. And you was like, Jersey gonna get it. Well, we got it. So are y'all still having a heat wave or no?
Yeah, we're about to.
We in the beginning
We're in the beginning
stage.
stages. So
Beginning stages.
and they said
That's
for the
wild.
next 2 days. So if we're getting it now, that means y'all should get it by the weekend.
Yeah. See, I don't like it, man. It's crazy. Like I hate when it's real cold outside, but I hate when it's extremely hot. Like I don't know who created Mother Earth or Mother Nature. I mean, but she ain't nice. She is mean. She is dirty.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'd rather deal with this because in 6 months we're gonna have like 8 inches of snow with a 30-mile-an-hour cold wind.
Oh no, please don't mention that. No. We don't talk about Bruno. No.
Bruno. Who's Bruno?
You never heard that phrase? We don't talk about Bruno. I have a little goddaughter, she's 6. So that's like I think that came from Encanto.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little children's movie Encanto. So they have this guy they don't talk about, and his name is Bruno.
Oh, got you. See, that's the thing. My kids should be watching kid-friendly things, but they just don't. And I try to get my 11-year-old the little the parental thing, but it sucks because I feel like he's outgrown that kind of stuff, and you can't give him privileges because his brothers always want to be with him, and they go in the room, and then now they watch things they shouldn't watch. You know, it's annoying. And then it's hard. That's the one thing about parenting. It's hard because then my kids be like, oh, well, all my friends do it. And then when we go out there to his football games or his football practices, that's what time they on, right? And their parents be okay with it. But I'm like, it's not okay. Because now when they take that shit to school, their teachers be calling me like, Mr. Black, what's going on at home? And I hate that. I hate when the schools do that. Like, I don't teach them that shit.
I can see why you feel the way you feel because now you gotta like question everything. Like, okay,
yeah, they say one bad thing and they automatically assume it's coming from the household. I'm like, no.
Because I'm only speak for myself. I learned more from the students around me than I did from my parents at home. Like all the stuff that my parents wouldn't let me see and do, classmates were doing it, so. Can't stop everything.
I ain't gonna lie, I was a little bad as hell. Some stuff I learned, I was sneaking do it, and I learned from my friends. I'm not even gonna hold y'all.
but see, that's the thing though. We always gonna learn things from our peers, and we always gonna sneak around our parents' backs, like behind their backs, and do things we know we shouldn't be doing. Mm-hmm. But it's and that's the one thing about kids, they don't understand until they get older. And then if they're ever blessed with having their own kids, then their eyes is open and they like, this is crazy. I should have listened to my parents this whole time. It's too late at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what some of these comments I'll be getting on here. Left field stuff. But okay. So, since we talk about love, marriage, faith, and personal growth, right? I want to lead off by asking, how long have you guys been married?
So we're actually going to celebrate 4 years of being married on Thursday. So we're looking forward to that.
Congratulations. 4 years, okay.
Thank you.
So
now, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say we've been together for a total for almost 9. My beautiful wife, we actually went to high school together, but we didn't start dating until we were adults. So she likes to say, which now more I think about it, we both needed time to grow and mature. So
you taking my advice now?
I love that. That's good. I love the little back and forth. The way she looked at you was classic, though.
we're like this all the time.
I troll him all the time.
That's good. That's good. I love it though. We're gonna get into a little bit more of the marriage stuff a little bit later because I ain't married and probably will never get married. But like I love talking to married couples though, like happy married couples, because sometimes I might look at a married couple and I'm like, dang, one day. You know what I'm saying? But then I deal with my own personal shit in my own life, and then I'll be like, yeah, fuck that shit. And this is the thing. Ain't nothing in life easy, right? And I'm not afraid of putting in the necessary work to make things work. But marriage is, in my opinion, is not what it's supposed to be, or not what it used to be. It's different these days. Now people get married for the wrong reasons, right? Like at the end of the day, when you get married, you take the vows for better or the worse, right? And both men and women, they so quick to jump ship once their significant other get sick or fall on bad times. They so quick to leave, and it's like that's not what a marriage is supposed to be. And I like I said before we went live, I like thought-provoking conversations. I do a lot of research. I like to read a lot, and like every year they say like if you take a serious relationship and you take a marriage, right? The ones that's more successful are the ones before they get married. The ones that they say is committed relationships, they last longer than your typical marriages. So then that's a deterrent in itself. It's like you take a step back and say, well, why get married? Right. But then married couples will come to me like, I was married for 30 years, 40 years. And I'm like, dang. And for me, it's like a silver lining. You be like, okay, it could work. So maybe I'm not closing the door on it. I just don't see it happening for me. We shall see. And maybe at the end of this episode, maybe the way you go back and forth, y'all might convince me. Who knows?
Well, I'm gonna drop some statistics on you. So now more Black men are wanting to be married than in previous generations, and that's right. Because they're starting to see the true benefits of what marriage can be. And I know that there are a lot of like talking heads on social media that say, well, men don't benefit from marriage, this, that, and that. We learned to call that the loud minority. So the loud minority is only speaking because they either haven't dealt with any issues that they are still fighting with, or they just, they feel like they don't want to stop chasing all the women out here, which after a while, in my opinion, it gets tiring, it gets redundant, it gets boring.
Yeah.
And speaking for myself, I got tired of chasing. I just wanted to sit down and have a family, one woman, man, kids, all that stuff.
I love that. And this is the thing, even though I'm not married, I tell people all the time, like, it gets boring. Just like you said, it gets boring. Like, I'm not in my 20s no more. I'm not even in my 30s no more. It gets boring. And then the women look at me like this, like your wife looked at you before, like, stop lying. But I'm serious. And men look at me like, come on, bro. You want to come out here and creep with all these girls. I actually don't, though. Like, I get more out of a thought-provoking conversation and a woman's intellect than I do having sex with them and chasing all of the things that's going to come with the territory anyways. You know what I'm saying? I just know me, and I know I'm addictive, and I just know it's going to come with the territory. So why chase it?
Yeah. Right? Like you have your 20s to, chase women. And to be honest with you, you don't have as much time as you think. Life comes at you fast. Next thing you know, you're going to be looking and your boys may be married and you're just still out there chasing women, and it's just like, for what?
Well, can I add something to this? I'm gonna give a woman's point of view. Me personally, I mean, I wasn't the really one to chase after men, but I'm not gonna lie to you. As I got older, my patience is set up differently, right? So, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. In relationships, any type of relationship, right? But since we're talking about the romantic relationship, it takes a lot of hard work and patience to remember somebody's birthday besides yours or your kids. It takes a lot of patience to remember like personalities, like what this person don't like, their favorite color and all that stuff. I invested too much time to learn Marquis isms. I put to be trying to run around up behind somebody else. I said, God forbid. I'm not saying it's not gonna work or anything like that. Obviously, we made it this far and it's gonna continue on. But if God forbid that me and Marquis don't work out, I'd rather be single because this is stressful. It's too much. And then what's out there now, from what we heard from our single friends, no, baby, my patience is not set up the same way. It's not.
Right.
It's kissing the pool is nothing but TikTok and crab legs.
Barely.
I believe it. I know people these days. I don't know. It's like they're robots. I don't know, man. Like the dating thing is crazy these days. Like people don't date with intentions. People say they date with intentions or want to date with intentions, but they just talk to people out of boredom. That's it. Like it's this new thing now. Not saying it never happened before, but like the whole ghosting thing. People ghost people every single day. That's because they have no intentions on getting to know a person. They just talk to them because they're bored, don't have nothing else to do. That means they don't have any identity of themselves, right? They don't know who they are. So therefore they don't have values. They don't have any of those things. They don't know where they want to go, right? You can put them in a paper bag and they can't fight their way out of it. So the world's crazy. And I don't know I don't know what's happening. It's something in the water. As our grandparents used to say, it's something in the water.
Something in the water.
You know, I think honestly, I think that a lot of people, well, I'm gonna say this for starters, no one has ever gave a great description on how to date.
Right.
And because of that, generations are lost and everybody has their own perception of what dating is, and sometimes it just comes down to just something simple as a terminology. Recognize that there's a difference in dating and a difference in courting. So if you want to date someone, that's fine. You can date as many people you want to, but when you court someone, you're looking for a serious relationship. You're looking for longevity. You're looking for marriage. You're looking for kids. You're looking for a steady life, someone to settle and build with. And not just build, but have fun with, inside jokes. But you also got to know that person is going to change. They're not going to be the same person that you first met or when you marry. You got to learn how to adapt when they adapt. So one day they don't like vanilla ice cream, next day they don't like vanilla ice cream, and you got to be fine with that, because that's just part of life, and that's part of marriage. Right.
It's like you got to learn how to grow together, right? Because a lot of times, just because you live with somebody, people say, "Oh, we're growing together." No, y'all live together, but y'all gotta live with each other. Meaning, like it's a package deal. Like your dreams got to become my dreams, and vice versa, type of thing. And you just got to be consumed with each other. That's how you make it work. Yeah, I mean, I'm not no professional psychologist, nothing like that, but like. You live and you learn, right? So like I've lived and I've learned a lot, and I just apply common sense to a lot of things. And in relationships, whether it's romantic relationship or a friendship, it's still a relationship. And I'm very knowledgeable on relationships. So I feel like I can speak on it.
I think, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
You brought up something that's very pivotal. I think that a lot of people also forget that in order to get to the relationship part of the or get to the dating part of the relationship, you gotta start out as friends first, and that's where the true foundation starts.
Right. I agree with that. Now I wanted to touch on this. So you guys have your own podcast, right? So can you tell the viewers what's it called and where they can find it?
So the name of our podcast is the You Stuck With Me podcast.
You stuck with me.
And that was coined by my wife, because she would always say, I don't do XYZ for anybody. You stuck with me. So while we were actually trying to figure out the name of our podcast, and we actually started it a couple of months after we got married, because we actually have a very unique love story. We actually dealt with a cancer diagnosis.
I think he was going to get into that later.
You think so?
I think so.
Oh.
Maybe that was.
No, she was saying you're gonna get into that later, but
no. Go ahead. You can go right into it. It's
okay. Cool. So we actually have a unique love story. So we dealt with a cancer diagnosis, survived the mass shooting and COVID, and this was literally back years before we even got married. So after we came back from my honeymoon, we were having a conversation with friends, and they said, after everything y'all been through, y'all should write a book.
I said, we're not in that moment in life yet. We can write a book. I feel like when you write a book, you experience some things. I was like, we still experiencing some things, but we'll do a podcast.
And so You Step With Me podcast was born. We have 130 episodes, including a live show, and we're an award-winning podcast by the Black Podcast Association for the best hosting duo.
And you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio, or anywhere you stream your favorite shows.
And our episodes drop every Wednesday.
Yeah.
Got you. All right, I like that. So yeah, it's crazy you mentioned that, because I was just about to ask you guys about that. So the mass shooting thing, what happened with that?
Ooh.
You want to tell that story?
I can.
Okay.
So what was this? 2018, right? 2018. So background story: me and Marquis had a brief stint when we were professional video gamers. Our game was Madden. Yes, I'm a girl that plays Madden and knows what she's doing. So we were competing in a Madden tournament in Jacksonville, Florida in 2018. And to make a long story short, one of the competitors, it was the second day of the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Marquis made it to that round, and I stayed and watched, but he got kicked out. So we was like, we're going to stay around to see who wins the pot. I think the pot was like, what?
$5,000.
$5,000.
And when she said kicked out, I didn't get kicked out because I did something stupid. I
lost. He got knocked out the round. Elimination. He got eliminated. And so it was $5,000 pot, and then a trip to the next live event, which would have been televised.
Yeah.
Anyway, one of the players, he had a series of mental health issues that we found out later on, and he had went into the venue, and he had an intent to shoot two competitors. One of them was not there, but the other one was. So unfortunately, that person lost their life, and then a casualty. Now, how it affected me and Marquis was we was sitting there by the bar. No, we were sitting in the lounge area trying to see, all the games and stuff like that, connected with everybody. And I said, hey, babe, let's go get something to eat. I'm hungry. He was like, okay, let's go grab something to eat. So unbeknownst to us at the time, the shooter had actually walked past us from the bar, went in there, and next thing we know, we hear pop, 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 pop. We thinking it's balloons. We was like, wait a minute, there's no balloons in here. So we realized, I think somebody said it's an active shooter or something. We duck, we getting out of there, and we going to hiding in a Mexican restaurant next door. And Marquis made it out okay. He had a couple scratches on his leg, but me, unfortunately, I sustained a sprained ankle. So that time was crazy because we had came back home. We just plastered everywhere like newspapers, our hometown news, and yeah,
we were recognized in the airport in Florida. We were recognized back here at home at the airport. People were staring at us while we were driving home. We would stop at lights, and they look over and say, like, pointing at us. We did a lot of interviews. We were almost on not good. Was it Good Morning America?
We were almost on Good Morning.
Good Morning America.
But and then it was crazy for me because now at this point I can't walk. So I'm on crutches. So I'm in the airport. Everybody's staring at me like I'm a science project. I get calls from work. Somebody, hey, we see you. Hey, aren't you the lady that served us food? Everybody just recognized us. So I would say that was a tough time. But it was also one of the times that really, solidified our relationship. Like, okay, we made it through a mass shooting together, man.
Right.
Where you going?
Right.
Like, where you going?
And so the crazy thing about it is between us, I was the first one to get out of the venue, and I hear her calling me, and she's not immediately behind me. But when she appeared through the doorway, I ran back to grab her, and we went back to safety, and we saw just people scattering everywhere. But fortunately, I learned this that there were police officers in the area.
Yeah, they were doing
training for that specific situation. So, and they were probably no less than 2 minutes away. Unfortunately, like she said, 2 competitors were killed, but also the shooter turned the gun on himself. So
that's wild.
Yeah. So because of that, by that point, I was in remission. So because of the stress that I took on my body, the cancer came back. And so because of that, I had to have a stem cell transplant that following July 2019, which was successful. And once I was able to come back out in public, because when you have a compromised immune system, you can't be around anybody. The common cold could be very dangerous to you. So once I was actually I got the okay to come back out in public, that's when COVID hit. So it's like, okay, I've been in seclusion this long, might as well just sit and wait and be patient some more. And then COVID progressively got worse, and that's when it started to take a toll on our relationship, because at the time I was staying with my mom for recovery reasons, and she was working at a stroke facility. So my mom was like, and you're not doing this, that, and the third. I'm just like, And so finally, when COVID at least got a little bit better, but we were both scratching our heads trying to figure out how I could see her. And unbeknownst to my mom, sorry, Mom, when I started driving for my appointments, her house was on the way. So I was always stopping by her house. I wasn't going in, but I was at least being able to see her through the window. So that, that was something that we both learned to.
I used to call that baby come back moments, because he used to stand outside. All he was missing was the radio playing "Baby Come Back."
Pretty much.
I love that. And that speaks at great length to you guys' relationship as well. Like, I know it's not easy to deal with somebody that has cancer or any kind of ailments that might be life-threatening. So, congrats to you guys, and to your wife for sticking by you. That's powerful.
Yeah, and that also played a huge role in the rest of our relationship, because after a while, and she loves when I tell this story. So I'm in the fraternity, she's in the sorority. I'm a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. She's a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. So one of my fraternity brothers, he got engaged to his wife on Facebook. And so at the time, I said, I was giving him congratulations, and we had a conversation. I said, and I was like, give me 2 years, I'll be ready. Not realizing that I was manifesting. So fast forward to a couple of years later, one of my college buddies, he got engaged, and it really got me to thinking about our future. So I decided that I did want to propose to her, but I was still weighing things out. So at that time, I was having walks with my dad in the morning to help both of us get exercise, because he wanted to exercise. I needed to, because my body, with radiation and chemo, just wanted to stay in as best shape as I could possible. So I told my dad about how I was thinking about proposing to her. So he asked me these 3 questions. He said, "Do you love her?" I said, "Yes, I love her, and I'm in love with her." He says, "Has she always been there?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "So what are you waiting for?" And I said, "You know what? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do it." And so I saved up money, and I eventually went to go get the ring. My dad was with me when the jeweler called and told me that the ring was ready. So we went to go pick it up. This was after we finished our morning walk, and I grabbed it, and I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, this is very surreal. I'm about to do this. And my dad says, "Congratulations, sir." Yeah. So, at that time, I was trying to figure out how I was going to propose. And, COVID at the time was being COVID. So, conversation with her, she actually, at the time, unbeknownst to her, gave me the idea. She said, "We don't take enough pictures." And I sat there and thought about it. I'm like, okay, let's do a photo shoot. So we have a soror who is a photographer. So we did a photo shoot. We did about 6 changeovers. So on the last changeover, she goes to change person. I go to our store and I said, okay, how do you want to do this? So she says that what she's going to do is she's going to pull her forward and take pictures of her by herself in the foreground. And I get back behind her and I get in position. And so when you see the picture, you see me on one knee and her posing. So she turns around and she sees me on one knee and she starts crying like, oh my God, are you serious? Are you serious? Like ugly crying and everything. So she doesn't realize it, but she's backing up just because of the shock. So I reach out to my hand to her and I propose to her. And she starts shaking her head. And both of us, me and our son, were like, can we hear a yes? And she's like, yes. And on October 10th, 2020, overlooking Lake Michigan, we got engaged.
I still don't remember me shaking my head. I thought I said yeah, but
I love it though. And you know what? The beautiful thing is that smile. When you were selling the store, she was looking at you like this. She was like, she's telling my story again.
Because she always tells me that's her favorite story.
It is my favorite story.
So I don't mind telling it because, you know, just to see her smiling, just for us to make it this far. And it honestly doesn't feel like 4 years of marriage. It doesn't even feel like 9 years together. So,
right.
I love
that's good. That means y'all living the right way, right? Like you're not looking at time. Because the thing, when you're miserable, that's when the time seems like it's slowing down. It seems like, I don't know, you stuck in the mud, right? When you live happily, time just be fun and you don't even notice it. So that's good. That's good. I love that.
Yeah, you know what? We've been through a lot of things. We love traveling. We're always eating. We stay hungry. #stays hungry. In terms of podcasting, we love doing podcasting. We love going to other, live shows. We've been to 85 South. We've seen them live.
See, I got to do that next. I'm about to go see Mojo Brooks though in November.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's my guy. He's funny as hell.
He is. I got to see him live too.
Last year I did see the We the Ones comedy show. I did see that. That was good. The only thing I didn't like is, this was around when they had the little Shannon Sharp thing.
Yeah.
And my one kid's mom was white, right? So we was there, and then they just like, oh, look at this nigga over here with the white girl, and I was like, oh no, don't do that. So I'm sitting here like this, no, don't do that. But it's like they was looking right there. I'm like, this is great, because she wanted to get. We wasn't like, we couldn't touch the stage, but we was close to the stage, so yeah. And like I said, it's around the Shannon Sharp thing. It wasn't just us. It was just whoever was a black man with a white woman. Oh, they was getting it too. And and the crazy thing is, they was like, oh, we're gonna put this on demand too. It's gonna be on TV. I was like, oh no, don't do that. So every day I've been looking for, I haven't seen it. So I'm like, good, I'm safe.
Yeah.
But you know what? We get it, because one of the other live shows that we went to, and this is actually probably my favorite. I don't know if you're familiar with the Bell and Claudine Ellis. So
the name sounds familiar though.
So they both have shows on BT. DeVell Ellis, he's on Zatima and Sisters, and Claudine is on Divorce Sisters, and they have a podcast. It used to be called Dead Ass Podcast. Now it's called Ellis Ever After. And we actually got to share the stage with them. They put us in their show, and when I say we had a ball, we had a ball.
I love it. That's the thing. Y'all was speaking my language before when you say y'all always hungry, man. Because I'm a chef and I love cooking. I'm a big foodie, man. Like, I be driving on the road. I be seeing restaurants. I'm like, I never ate there before. I'll write it down and put it on my bucket list. I'm like, oh yeah, I got to go experience that. Now, I will say this. Like, I just ate at Carmine's. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
We have.
It's an Italian restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been one to listen to reviews or read reviews and believe it. I got to experience myself. But when I tell you 3 different dishes and I thought all 3 was garbage, I said, oh my God. I was so disappointed because that check was like $186. I'm like, bro, how? So then I'm looking at the check, right? I'm looking at the receipt, but they charge you for the drinks. I'm like, it was like $40 for 5 drinks. Like, and I ain't talking about no alcohol or nothing like that. Like sodas and stuff. I'm like,
that's
like $40, and then you will ask me for a tip? No.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. This was like, and you can ask me for a tip.
Yeah, 180. We almost at 200. And the thing is, it's not like it was like a date. It was like a family thing. You know, I have my kids there and stuff. So it's like, and then kids play with food too, and it's still in the refrigerator. So I'm like, man, this some bullshit. Today I'm like, yo, they was like, I'm hungry. I'm like, Carmine's in there. I don't want that. I'm like, this is bullshit. You spend my money. So it is what it is, though. But like, yeah, I'm a big foodie. I love cooking. I just started my little catering thing, a little private catering thing. So right now it's like soul food.
Mhm.
But I cook everything, man. Like I'm working on getting my food truck established. And one of the slogans I'm gonna have on the truck is "Why go anywhere else when I can cook it all?" And I say that to everybody. So a lot of people be like, "Oh, let me try something." But one thing I can't stand is the people who say, "I get the brother discount." No. You gonna go to McDonald's, ask for a discount? No. Or can I get the church discount? No. Like people are crazy these days.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is.
I mean, you know what?
So go ahead.
With us, we love to eat. We come from Chicago. Chicago, we know that our food is the best in the country, in the world. But we are.
Sure.
But I'm gonna say this: I'm
not in Chicago, so hold on now. I ain't in Chicago, so you ain't have the best yet.
I mean, I'll take you. We'll take you up on your offer.
Now I will say this though. I believe that Chicago has one of the best diversity of foods, right? But I gotta share my big bag moment with y'all. So recently I went to Detroit for Chris Brown and Usher concert, right? And it's this food truck down there. I think it's called Hot Chicks, right?
Hot Chicks.
And they have a crab rangoon burrito. Now I know it sounds crazy, right? Crab rangoon burrito is not what you think. It ain't gonna have like the feeling like an actual burrito. The feeling is the crab rangoon. I love crab rangoon. That when I eat Chinese food, I gotta have that. But baby, when I took a taste of that and some sweet chili sauce, it was love at first taste.
I love that. See, that's what I love. Like food makes me happy. Like people talk about food, I start smiling. It's comforting. It's good, especially when you know what you're doing. It's good. It's comforting.
And you know what? I'm gonna be honest. Out of all the places I've traveled, there's only two places that come close to Chicago in terms of food. That would be Houston and New Orleans.
See, I've never been to New Orleans, but I want to try it so bad.
Detroit got some good food too. I put them in there.
You ain't mentioned New York yet. That's crazy.
Now New York. I've been to New York several times. One of my favorite places to go. I love to go to Boogie Down Bronx, or if I want to be bougie, I'll go up to Manhattan, right? But I mean, their hot dogs don't have nothing on Chicago.
See, I got the Chicago dogs, which at first when I first had one, I thought it was weird, but it's okay. It's like I would say it's an acquired taste, right? If you're not from Chicago, it's just different.
I'll give you that.
I could agree with that. If you're not from Chicago, it can be acquired taste.
But whatever you do not put ketchup on the Chicago style hot dog. You will get cursed out.
Yeah, I believe you.
Any Chicago one.
Yeah, I know. I've heard of it. I've been to Chicago one time when my brother was in the military, and he was in Chicago for his boot camp, and I went up there and asked for ketchup on it, and they was like, "You want what?" And I kept repeating myself, and I was so confused. Like, I was fucking. You don't have ketchup? Like, fuck ketchup. I don't want it there. Let me get some mustard or something. Like, it's crazy. Just like Rhode Island, Connecticut. Mm-hmm. I forgot what they call their dogs. They don't call their hot dogs. You call it a hot dog up there, they curse you out too. I forgot what they call it. When they take the casing off and you just get the inside of the hot dog. I forgot what the shit's called, but I thought that was weird as fuck.
I don't think it's called glizzy, is it?
No.
No,
not a glizzy.
No, that's another name for a hot dog.
No, but I thought that name came from over east.
No. You sound like the uncle right now. That is the term. You use that to say a hot dog. It's glizzy.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. The real term is glizzy, but the way that we use it out here is if you say you want a glizzy, people gonna be like, "Whoa, what?"
Right.
Yeah. It means some other shit out this way. But especially in Philly, because Philly came up with that glizzy gobbler and all that stuff. Yeah, it's no bueno for a man.
Now you know what? There is one thing in New York I would get now that we talking about it. You gotta have a chopped cheese. Chopped cheese is really good. I have
Yeah,
chopped
yeah,
cheese.
yeah.
But to be
So
fair, I haven't
some
been in New
places
York
won't.
since I was a teenager.
Oh wow, yeah. So, how old are you now?
I'm 36.
Oh, you Thursday? Okay, shit, youngin. Say nah, you right behind me though. I'm 40. I know I don't look like it though. You know, black don't crack.
At all.
Yeah, because people, I get it all the time. People like, oh, you like 20 something? I'm like, no. You in your 30s? No. I'm like, I'm 40. They're like, no, the fuck you ain't. I'm like, okay, well, if you think I'm younger, I take it. I'm not trying to rush my age, but it is what it is. But all right. So I just want to get into the meat of the conversation. So, as always, part of my intro is I like to tell everybody I like to on this platform. I like to conversate, educate, and entertain, and I'm sure we'll do just that. Now, again, like I said, today's conversation is about love, marriage, faith, and personal growth. Now, exploring these topics helps couples understand each other's relationship philosophies and build a secure foundation. So, the first question I want to ask you guys is love primarily an unpredictable emotion, or is it a conscious daily choice?
Ooh, I like this question. You want to go first, though?
Nah, let's go. Fine.
Okay, go ahead.
It's a conscious daily choice, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because after 4 years of being married and 9 years together, I get up every morning and I choose to stay with this beautiful woman.
Aww.
I choose.
Aww.
I choose to be here because I'm not going to find, nor do I want to go out and find someone who can match my personality, who can balance me out, who can give me the best perspective, who can educate me on things that I don't know about or think I know about and I really don't know. Someone who can make me laugh, and we fit together like a hand in glove. So I say it's a conscious choice. I choose to be here. I choose to wake up to her every morning. I choose to ask her, how can I be of service to her every morning? Go out and make her day easier. It's a choice.
Okay. Miss Taylor.
I say it's both.
Okay. Yeah, it is both to me.
It's both, but I say both because it's situational. Now,
Right.
you choose love. It depends on the situation. We're talking about like a marriage or like a committed relationship. Yeah, it's a choice, right? But also at the same time, too, there are those who love a person but not in love with a person. I feel like
right.
in love is more making that commitment, that choice of getting up every day. Like, for example, Marquis, he nice or whatever, but I'm gonna tell you, sometimes Marquis get on my nerves. He get on my nerves. He would have get struck that last nerve today, but I still get up and be like, you know what? I love this man. I don't see myself with anybody else. So we're gonna continue to work at it. That's the choice. That's a conscious choice. Now,
Right.
back then, oh, somebody was fine, or I like their personality. I like or a strong. That's a strong feeling of like of form
Right.
of love to me. So that's why I say both.
So, all right. So I'm just going to add to that. So this is the thing. Love is one of those things we can't put our finger on, right? You could put somebody. You be in a room with like 1,000 people, and nobody's going to describe love the same way. So it's one of those unpredictable emotions for me. And this is the thing. When you said like back then, you might look at somebody and say he fine. The thing about love and being in love is this: when you're in love, that's not a choice. It's not a decision. When you're in love, it's just like it's the unknown, it's the unseen. It's one of those things. You're just so attracted to that person, and you're in love when you get tunnel vision. You don't see nobody else, right? Now, if you're in a relationship and you still looking like this, you're not in love. No matter how many times you say it, right? Now, you can love somebody, right? Because love just means you have a deep affection for somebody, and that connection. But once you say you're in love with that person, that means you have tunnel vision. It could be somebody that walked by and you might look, but you look away, right? Once you start staring, you're not in love. Because this is the thing. I hate when people be married and they say, oh, nobody else is beautiful. Nobody else looks good. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. I hate that shit because it's like a movie. You watch one movie, you're like, that was really good. You ain't gonna say, I ain't never gonna watch another movie because that was so good. You sound stupid. You're not gonna eat a cheesesteak and say, I'm not gonna eat a cheesesteak nowhere else because it's never gonna be good. No, you're lying. If you into art or anything, you hear a song, you like rap music, you like the genre, you ain't gonna hear one song and say, that's it for me. Because this is the thing. Say it was, you have a significant other and they pass away or something. Life goes on, right? You might, after that mourning period, we're creatures of habit. We like what we like. We're going to see somebody else that's attractive. So just take accountability and just own up to it. Like, once you're in love with somebody, you're not going to see all that. You might be like, that person look good and that's it. Keep it pushing, right? So that comes with growth and development. That's that emotional intelligence, just to have that wherewithal to know that this is my person. I don't need nobody else. And just like you said, Taylor, earlier, no, I think it was Marquis that said, he's not looking for nobody else to match his energy and things of that nature. Once you have it, you have it. And that's the thing. A lot of people think the grass is greener on the other side, and they try to look and only get a percentage of what they already had. So at the end of the day, who won? You make a fool of yourself. So once you have something good, hold on to it and do everything in your power to make it work. And I stand by that. You know?
Yeah,
especially when you got kids.
Yeah.
Especially when you have kids. When you have kids, you better try to make it work. Don't give a woman the satisfaction of saying you a deadbeat or you ain't you a piece of shit father. Like, fuck that. I know, in the black and brown community, I never understood that about us. Why, like, it's so many of us men that's not there for our kids in the black community, and I hate that. It's disgusting. Like, you look at all these other cultures, it's not like that, right? You look at statistics stuff, it's with us. But I'm not one of them. I'm there for my kids, and I will never turn my back on my kids, right? And I see these other men, they're like, yeah, I got kids, but fuck them kids. I'm like, that's crazy. I just don't understand how a part of you is not connected to you mentally, right? Like, where's the disconnect? Like, why are you shack up? Why are you late with these women, knowing the possibilities, especially when you're not using protection and you have kids, and just say, nah, I'm not gonna be there. Like, how could you do that? I would never understand.
Well, to push back on what you just said, statistics actually show that Black fathers are the most active fathers in their children's lives. And I think what a lot of people get confused with is the fact that the father is not with the mother. That's the part that people usually get confused with. So while the African American fathers are the most active, we're not the ones who are married most to the mother of our children.
See, I'll have to check again, but I mean, I know I had several podcasts about this topic last year, and I know, like, when I Googled it, went to the library, just do research. I know maybe I'm not wording it. Maybe it's like, because when we talk about statistics and stuff, it's different categories. But I know when we talk about absentee fathers, the black and brown community was high amongst other races and stuff. And also with on child support. We rank up here, which it's insane, but I don't know. Part of that statistic I was talking about is they say it was due to incarceration. There's been a saying for years that it's a white man's world, but jail and prison is a black man's world. Like, I don't know who came up with that, but I've been hearing that my whole life. And so part of that statistic came from that. It's like a lot of people, the black community are incarcerated, so therefore they're not present. So some of it had something to do with that.
Right. So some of the statistics can be skewed, and it's crazy because black people make up 13% of the population, but say that we make up 50% of the crime. So that doesn't add up. But I'm gonna tell you the one thing that we lead in exonerations.
Right.
Every time you turn around, another black man is being exonerated from a crime that he didn't commit.
Hey, I've had podcasts on that too. That's crazy because I didn't believe it when somebody brought it to my attention. I had to Google it. I had to do research, and It's high, and you know, it kind of makes you take a step back and say, why is that? Why are they so in a rush to incarcerate the black community? Like it's disgusting. Like up the street from me, the county jail, they just got this extension that they're putting on there. They're trying to lock up more people. I'm like, why? And this is the thing. Unless it's like a crazy crime or something, I don't feel like you should be trying to lock people up for petty stuff. I mean, like the jails is already overpopulated. Now you're gonna build an extension to keep locking people up for petty stuff. It's stupid. It's stupid.
Yeah, it's it's a systematic thing, but I think that's a whole nother conversation within itself.
Yeah.
But in terms of black men being fathers, I want to be a father one day. Right now, we don't have children, but I'm looking forward to. I used to have this feeling that I just strictly want boys, but I'm kind of leaning to what Jay-Z said. Whatever God give me, I'm cool.
There you go. Yeah. She's checking the temperature. She's checking that temperature. But you know what? I think every man wants boys. That's the thing. We all, especially for our first child, we always want boys, right? I mean, I had boy, you know, and I got a girl out the drawer. Like I was like, that's crazy. But yeah. So I'm gonna ask this next question because, like I said, I don't want to really go down that rabbit hole because we can go on for days as far as parenthood, having kids, and all this. But if you do want kids, not trying to tell y'all what to do, but you know what I'm saying, 36. Y'all better get to work.
Look, she wants twins. I would like
twins.
She wants twins. I like to have boys. So if we have 2 boys, I'm happy. I'm not impartial to a third child. So if we have 2 boys and a girl, I'm cool.
Well.
If we have 2 girls and a boy, I'm cool. So
you want 3 kids?
I'm not impartial to it.
We'll talk about that later.
No, but we'll get to start out with 2.
Yeah, she better with that construction hat on combat boots when you better go to work.
Look, if you ever see like our social media commentary, like all the videos we put up, and a lot of some of it is centered around children. One I laugh about every time I watch it because we're sitting in our living room and I say that she's saying she's hungry, and I said we got to feed the baby, and I start rubbing her stomach. She's like, "There's no baby in there," and I go into this whole spiel, and I just started singing "Amen," and then she's trying not to laugh, but she couldn't help it because
everybody swears B having baby fever. It be Marquis. This man told me I can count on 2 hands how many times he said I smell like Similac. What person do you know tells another person they smell like Similac on a daily basis? That sounds like baby fever to me.
Yeah, it's baby fever. Somebody had kids. He's like, oh, they're so adorable. Like he got that woman/baby fever. Like, that's crazy.
Look, I'm not gonna even hold you. Here's another story. So we were just in a dollar store a couple of days ago, and this young lady had her daughter. Her daughter was in the basket, and she was playing with one of the plastic balls. So she drops it, and I pick it up, and I pass it to her, and she says, "Thank you." And I say, "You're welcome." She's like, "Can I hug you?" And her mother was like, "No, you can't do that." But it was just I thought it was just a pretty wholesome,
Oh yeah. Until he got that baby fever. Yeah. He think about it every day. When you sleeping, he be looking at you like this.
He be plotting.
He be plotting. He be plotting, bro. Look how look. He guilty. Look, oh shit, they called me. Plotting.
I'm not. Look, we're not in a rush, but when it happens, it happens.
Got you. And that's yeah. You got all the time to practice.
Oh yeah.
Y'all terrible. All right, so let me ask you this: does a couple grow closer more through shared joyous activities or through surviving struggles together?
You want to answer this one first?
I'm gonna say surviving struggles, because I mean you can have. Okay, I'll do it through this perspective of us. We've had, well, I guess now in our life, I can say we had an even amount of struggle and joyous moments, but our foundation started from those struggles. And to me, that showed me how Marquis can handle stuff under pressure. Because you can always, people can always rejoice and celebrate when things go good, right? But not too many people, I would say this, not too many people know how to find the silver lining in struggle or learn a lesson in struggle. Like one of my things was when I was dating, when I was starting to date intentionally, I'll say that. Starting to date intentionally, I wanted a partner who can take the reins when I could not do it. Instead of expecting me to do everything and be the brains and all that stuff, I wanted a partner who can at least fill in or be like, hey, I see you working hard. I see that you're tired. Let me step in.
Right.
So, yeah, I would say that the struggle.
You know what? I'm going to say both. And pretty much for the same reasons that she said, because the struggle created the foundation. The beautiful moments together actually built on top of them.
Right. Now, all right. So this thing. I'm gonna throw a little curveball though. Like, I do believe it's both, but this thing, it's a fine line though when we talk about coming together through struggle, right? Because it's a thing called trauma bonding, and sometimes trauma bonding is not actual love, right? You're drawn together because of you both share a mutual struggle or something, right? And then you're both looking at each other for guidance. You're using each other as a crutch, using each other when you're feeling vulnerable, right? And it's not like you're really getting in tune with that person. Now, that's not always the case though, because I think by default, and black people, us blacks, I think we do come together through struggle, right? Because a lot of us, that's all we know is struggle, right? And so for me, it's like, yeah, I still deal with childhood traumas to this day. And so when I'm struggling and when people are there for me, that connection is enormous. It's abundant. Like, so yeah, and then joyous activity, sure, yeah. Of course you on a high, right? When you're going through joyous moments, you on a high. So like you said, Taylor, like it's when I like the way you framed it, by the way. It's who's there with you during those struggles. You get to sit back and say, okay, now I know what he can what he can handle, right? I know what he's prepared for. I know he can take over when I need him to because he's been there when I've been at my lowest. So I like the way you framed that. So that's pretty good. I like that.
And then also I add to, because I thought about that too, the trauma bonding. But here's what I say with this. Now, I mention this a lot of times in our podcast and our stories. So when me and Marquis got together, I had some mental health issues. I had some things I needed to work out, right? And the point of me bringing that up is when someone is with you through your struggle, and I would say this, the difference between the trauma bonding and someone being with you through your struggle is if that person went through things, like for me, like I said, I went through mental health issues around the time me and Marquis got together. Matter of fact, I had experienced the loss of my mom and my grandmother months apart before we started dating. And then that same year, that's when Marquis was diagnosed for the first time with cancer. So, but before we knew, was it before we knew about the diagnosis? I want to say after we knew about the diagnosis, but it was some time before we got married. I told him, hey, I need to go to therapy. I had that stuff when it's like, okay, I need to go to therapy. But my mindset was not only to get myself together, but I felt like it would have been unfair for me to dump all my trauma and issues that came before Marquis on him. You see what I'm saying? Like have him be like, he feel like he gotta fix everything that's going on with me. Some of that stuff he cannot fix. He could not fix.
Right.
It was something I had to do personally. So it was that it was one of the turning moments. I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep him around because a lot of people. No, I'm not gonna say not a lot of people. Back then, mental health and therapy wasn't really
as popular as it is.
Really glorified as it is now, right?
And then when she told me that she was going to go to therapy, I didn't look at her and judge her. This is just my personality. I said, okay, what do you need? Yeah, and I was not used to that because before, me and Marquis got together, I had some things I needed to work out, right? And I would say this, the difference between the trauma bonding and someone being with you through your struggle is if that person went through things, like for me, like I said, I went through mental health issues around the time me and Marquis got together. Matter of fact, I had experienced the loss of my mom and my grandmother months apart before we started dating. And then that same year, that's when Marquis was diagnosed for the first time with cancer.
in previous relationships, when I talked about going to therapy and stuff like that, I get looked at like, "Oh, you crazy? Like, what you got going on? You got to off
Yeah.
yourself, like, you know." Let me
Yeah.
move back. So when I actually heard him say that, I had to take him. I'm like, wait a minute, hold
Yeah.
on. So yeah.
And as I said earlier, and see, it's those little subtleties, the little subtle moments like that that make you take a step back and say, okay, I got something here. Right? Because when we talk about relationships, we talk about marriage, we talk about longevity, that person got to be consumed with you. Whatever you want, I got to want it as well. And vice versa. Once you have that, you got a recipe for success. You know? And you said you like that's a little trauma in itself when you said anybody else that you was with, they look at you like you got three heads, but he was just like, okay, and it took you back. You was like, what, huh? Like you wasn't expecting that. It's like it's almost like you expected him to be like everybody else. The fact that he was different and he provided something that you really needed, right? It's good. It's magical, and that's important.
And I'm gonna tell you how it became a full circle moment, because I recently just started going to therapy, and I told her that I was going to go to therapy, and she replied the same thing I said. She said, "What do you need?"
I like that, and I'm a big advocate for therapy. Like I do therapy. I mean, I haven't recently because I got to get a new therapist because when my insurance lapsed, I got to start the process all over again. And I just working two jobs. I haven't had the time, but I have to fit that back into my schedule because it was working for me. It helps, It's like when you have a therapist, man, like, and you're going through dark times, you can pick up the phone and you can talk to somebody that's not going to be judgmental, right? And that's important.
Yes.
Because like the people in our circles shouldn't be judgmental, but that's the thing. That's why we seek out therapy, because people in our circle are not there for us. They're not as real as they say they are, right? Because if you real as you say you are, be real 100%. Not 99%, not 98%, not 95%. You got to be 100%. You got to go all in your relationship and your friendships. And if you can't do that, y'all not made for each other.
And I will even toss this in there. It's not that they're not real; they don't know how to be there. Because again, because I have some older people in my inner circle. I have an aunt right now who we just start having an open conversation about mental health and therapy and stuff like that. And she told me back then you didn't talk about this stuff. Like whatever went on with you or in your house, it stayed in your house because you didn't want your business all out in the street. So not to say that is not that just they real, but also too they don't know how to respond to that.
All right. So now that we talk about therapy, right? Therapy and counseling goes hand in hand, right? So let me ask you guys this: now that you guys are married, should couples regularly go to counseling as a proactive tool, or only when there's an obvious problem?
I say 100% proactively before something goes crazy, because I say it's more manageable to handle something. I would say it's more manageable to handle it before it goes crazy than while going through it. It's like in healthcare. They always say you always want to treat the pain before it gets too severe. So same concept. You don't want to wait until you damn near ready to divorce this person or choke them or whatever like that to try to save it, because now you on high emotion, you probably feel like this is the last leg.
Right, you already mentally checked out.
You already mentally checked out.
Right. So I don't see that working. So okay, so to be clear, so you think that all relationships you should do couples therapy, whether you feel like it's perfect or not?
I agree with that, because if you deal with it then, or if you want to make it even stronger than what it is, then anything that may have given you a hard time, it wouldn't have, because you already have the tools and the knowledge, and you already know how to deal with that situation and move forward. And you also got to always remember that when there's an issue, it's not you versus your spouse, it's you two versus the problem. And that's what a lot of people don't always remember. They don't know.
And I would
Right,
say
right, right.
this too. I would say this too. You may think it's perfect, but you could find something as small as, oh, I didn't know Marquis like chocolate ice cream. All this time I've been feeding him vanilla, but he hadn't
Yeah,
said
yeah.
anything.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
now, so now you discover, oh, we got a communication thing we can work on before it becomes bigger.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right. I
glad you
like
brought
that.
that up. I'm glad you brought that up because one thing that I've learned in marriage is that communication is an ongoing thing, and not only is it an ongoing thing, but just like you can under communicate, you can over
Mm,
communicate. So
Mm. Yeah, got to find that balance. So
yeah,
I have a couples question. Which one do y'all want to go first? Which one want to be the guinea pig first?
like him to
Ah, okay,
be.
okay. All right, so I'm gonna throw it back to you too, though. But first, I'm gonna get
Okay.
his answer. Okay. So when you are hurting and not communicating it, right? What are the subtle signs you display, and how do you usually miss them? Or for your wife, like when she's hurting, right, and she's not communicating that she's hurt. What are the subtle signs, right, that she displays that you normally miss?
It's an interesting
Oh, she
question.
like
We
this
talk
one.
about this.
mm, it's actually a lot of them, but I'm gonna go for the one that I know for a fact. She'll say she'll she'll say that I'm inconsiderate, and then she'll tell
Mm.
me what I didn't do or didn't say that made me inconsiderate.
All right.
The other one is just some of her mannerisms. Some of her mannerisms, she'll kind of like she'll walk off and then she'll come back, and then she'll walk off and then she'll come back. So I'm like, and I, she doesn't realize this, but what I realize is the more times that she walks out and come back, it's kind of like the barometer of how I messed up. So the more she does it, the worse I know is that bad.
What signs do, like when you're hurting, Taylor, but you're not telling her you're hurting? What signs do you think that he missed that you'll be putting out there in the universe?
Well, I,
Matter
Oh,
of fact, let me get a pen and paper.
see, this is therapy. See, this is good. This is great.
well, I find it interesting that he says that I'll walk off and come back as a barometer because that's not it. So one of the things that he misses is so Marquise can gauge like when I'm normally quiet or when I'm too
Yeah,
quiet,
yeah.
right? So with along with that, when I along with the quiet, I give short answers, like one word answers. So like he can ask me a question like, "Oh, what do you want to eat? Hot dogs," and then just that's it. Or I can be like, and he's really taking note here. This is funny. Uh,
Wait, this is therapy.
one word answers, or I could come into a room and I could just be like, I do size and stuff. Like my whole demeanor will change.
Yeah.
And usually he can pick up on that, but yeah, he does it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, all right. Say a question for you.
So I'm indicating the subtle signs that I miss when he's upset.
Yeah.
Hmm. I would say one thing I would say I don't know if he does it, but like when he's really frustrated or mad about something, he does this grunt side thing. Like, so that's one. Uh I don't know because when Marquise, when he gets really upset, he internalizes it. So I would say probably when he have his moments where he's like quiet and just like doesn't he shuts down. I would say
What you?
that, and then hmm,
See, look, I'm helping y'all out here. I mean, if you want to tap out, you can tap out because I'm gonna ask him what he what like
And no,
what he
it's one
missed.
more. It's one more that he does too, and he might agree with. He may or may not agree with it. So when I know when he's really mad, he cusses a lot. He's the one. Now I'm the one. I'm the one that cuss. You know, when I'm upset or not, I curse in casual conversation. He doesn't do that. He uses clean language. So when he's cussing and it don't make sense, that's why I know he's upset.
What songs do you think she missed?
I think I'm missing one or two.
I think Pride. Let
me get my notebook.
Probably the only time that
crucify him for that, and then you about to do it. Go ahead, Marquis.
The one song that she does miss, ironically enough, I would think that she would see when I play certain music.
Oh.
When I play certain music.
Yeah.
Now, is it music like a genre that you don't like, or
no? So there's one song that I play. No, it's actually two songs that I play. So one of them is a song by Wale. It's called Expectations, and then the other song would be Lil Wayne and Bruno Mars, Mirrors. Those are the two.
That just reminded me of something. One time, me and Marquis got into this real big. Well, no, I was pissed off at him, and I was about to throw his stuff out. I'm crazy like that. If I'm for real, don't you? I throw your stuff out. I have a whole Angela Bassett moment. I just don't burn your stuff.
So that's from Love Thin Line. You told that one?
No, she's talking about Waiting to Exhale.
Waiting to Exhale. Oh Lord, they both bad. Thin Line. If you're on Thin Line, I would be like, marriage over. But yeah, go ahead.
No. I just packed up his stuff and kicked him out my room. I forgot what song. Oh, it was that Rick Ross song with Chris Brown called "Sorry," and he started playing all these songs. And it didn't hit me till later on that he was trying to play these songs to express how sorry he was. I'm like, why are you playing all this random sad ass music? Like,
and that's actually, and this is one of the things that why I'm a big proponent of fathers being in their children's lives, because one thing my father taught me is that music can tell your woman what you're feeling, even if you can't say it yourself.
I'm like, why are we playing all this sad, depressing ass music? Turn this shit off.
And see, that's something that she missed.
I hear that. See, I just helped y'all out. So if you didn't know that before, now you know. You both grab notebooks. You know, I feel accomplished.
I appreciate
that. That's one of the beautiful things about our podcast, because we'll discuss issues that we've had and we're working it out in real time for our listeners to break down, dissect, and if they find themselves in the same situation, it's something that they could, at least something they could use as a tool to help themselves out.
So I got another very interesting question for you guys, right? Should the immediate and extended family have veto power in choosing a life partner for us?
Absolutely not.
Hell no, because I don't trust my own family's pickers. They pickers be off.
Yeah. And I agree with that. Like, now this thing, I came up with that question because I was talking to a friend of mine, and that wasn't even the topic of conversation. We was talking about, like, she was telling me how if her parents, her sister don't like the guy, no matter how much she like him, it's over. I'm like, that's insane. That's crazy. So this is when we was originally supposed to have this episode. That's what, I've been holding on to it since then. And I was like, that's crazy. So no matter how you feel about the guy, if your family don't approve, you won't be with him. They was like, no. So I asked random people that question. So I had mixed reviews. Some people was like, no, fuck that shit. Like, I like who I like. I'm gonna be with who I want to be with. But then there's a lot of people that say no. If my parents, my sister, my brother don't approve, then I won't do it. I'm like, So for me, that's insane. I couldn't be that way.
I got a story. Well, I got an example of why I say no with that. So I was younger. This when I was just dating or whatever like that. My mom was like, "Oh, this guy, he You know, he look all cute, tall, whatever. You know, you should go talk to him. So I talked to him, and he ended up being trash. He ended up being trash. He couldn't hold a conversation, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So there's an example. And then also too, I don't know, maybe it's just me. Some people in my family, they be in these relationships, these marriages a long time and be miserable.
Miserable. Yep.
And I'm like, you try to give me advice? Now you can
Yeah.
give me advice on like, you know, the things that go on. But you trying to give me advice on what to look for and your picker off? That's like the blind leading the blind. Nope, hell no. Nope.
Right. And it's one of the things my older brother always talk about. He always say, if you're not married, you can't give marital advice. And I'll be like, I tell him all the time that's bullshit because this is the thing. I'll be like, you can't give marital advice if you're married and going through counseling, couples counseling, or marriage counseling. To me, that disqualifies you, right? This is the thing. Anybody can give you an advice. Anybody can give you opinions. And anybody that live and breathe life can give advice on something, right? Because we all go through things. This is the thing. If you're in a committed relationship, how are you disqualified for giving marriage advice? Because before you get to marriage, guess what? You're in a committed relationship. You have that friendship. You know what I'm saying? You're friends with somebody. You got kids, you got family, so you have a relationship. Therefore, you can talk relationships to a married couple because that's all a married couple is. It's a relationship. The only thing that's different is the paperwork and the last name change. You know, and I hate when my brother be telling me, not just my brother, other people be trying to tell me it's a difference. No, it's not. And then when they want to get biblical, say it's a covenant before God. Okay, I get it. But this is the thing. Once we get married, what changes in the relationship? Let me ask you guys this. When y'all was in a relationship before you got married, right? And then y'all transitioned to marriage, what changed in your relationship?
You want to be honest?
Yes.
The mindset changed. So it wasn't that the mindset changed besides changing my mindset that Marquis is now my husband instead of my boyfriend. It changed like, okay, this is a business deal now because a lot of people don't talk about this. Marriage is actually a business. It's like just like how you go into business for yourself, you think about the assets and the liabilities. Now I start thinking of this marriage. That's how my mindset changed. Oh, okay, we love each other, yeah, like that, but this is a business, so I got to start assessing which parts that he has is a liability and an asset to me, and how we merge those two things together to make this a successful business.
And also, you know what? It reminds me of something that I've heard when I was a kid, and I don't know if you ever heard it. But now it makes sense when people say love don't pay the bills.
It sure don't.
There you go.
It makes total sense. And when you sit there and think about it, when you decide picking your partner, like my beautiful wife said, you're trying to see what's a benefit, what's a liability if the person that you're choosing has more benefits and liabilities. Some things you're going to realize like, okay, you know what, it's a liability, but I can work with that and we can make that a benefit. And I don't think a lot of people actually choose to make that type of decision. They just see A and B and don't realize that B can become A.
I was just about to say that. See, I love the way you guys be framing things because I was about to say that sometimes a person's liability, right, is a benefit. It's that treasure because you don't want to be programmed. Like, okay, I'm attracted to you because this. It's the things that make us different that's more attractive, right? Your shortcomings, right, gives me a superpower because guess what? Now I can come and uplift you. It's nothing more comforting and rewarding than to uplift somebody, right? And I tell people that all the time, right? And I like to say, I tell everybody this, and I hate when people try to steal my phrases, but I'm like, there's a message in every message, right? So
I like that.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So this person's shortcomings, you just empowered me because now I have feelings for you. I love you. Now I want you to be successful. I want you to be at your highest. So now I have something to work with. Now, say if I say I'm on a high frequency and you on a high frequency, and I look at you like you on a high frequency, I have nothing to work with, right? Because now I'm looking at you guys like this. Somebody had to be a step behind or a step up because now the other one has something to, you know what I'm saying? Piggyback on, bounce ideas off of. You don't want this. You don't want sameness. That's why God created us to be different, right? so we can work with each other. So let me
Preach.
bring you up. And sometimes when you up here, you need to be brought down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
why we talk about being equally yoked and finding that right one. So
Talk about
that's
it.
good.
Talk about it.
That's good. Um, is it healthy to enter a marriage with the goal of healing a partner's past trauma, or does this create an unequal power dynamic?
Hmm. I don't think your goal when you come into marriage is to heal your partner's past trauma. I think that's something that they should have dealt with or have been dealing with prior to getting married.
You mean the significant other, or
It's
you?
the significant
Which
other.
one? Okay.
And I'm gonna give a perfect example. She said that before. She said before we got married, she had some things that she wanted to work on. That's being her being proactive, saying that I see that this could be a potential issue to our marriage. Let me address this now, so it doesn't be something that can one drive us apart, or potentially drive us apart, and two something that we have to deal with. So her being proactive, I think was a definitely a benefit to our marriage because it was something that we didn't have to deal with, or even if we had to deal with, she didn't have to deal with it alone. And that's something else that we learned. We also did premarital counseling. You also want to find a spouse who's willing to help you carry your baggage and get if they. I'm trying to phrase it the way that it was said. Carry your baggage, and then you guys can get rid of all the bad baggage together.
Right. I like that. I mean, it's go ahead, Taylor.
I say that's kind of hard. I would say this. I believe that person should try to, the significant other should try to fix that past trauma because depending on that trauma, it can turn into a thing as if, okay, you're okay, so yeah, I'm trying to find the right words for it. So I would say that the significant other should try to maneuver and navigate their past trauma before getting into the relationship because it could potentially put their partner in a situation that they have to fix them. That's what a lot of this mindset come from, like, oh, I like a project, let me take on this project, let me fix it.
Right.
But you're so focused on trying to fix your spouse, you could be creating your own trauma, or you starting to dig up your own trauma that you realize that you didn't know that you had. So now you're trying to fix the both of us.
Right. And right, and that's double duty, and that's hard. I get it.
That's
I get
double
it.
duty.
Now, so that's where for me it's one of those tricky things because when you get married, I don't think your goal. So I'm gonna remove the word goal and say your mindset. I don't think your mindset should be on healing your significant other or your
Mhm.
husband or your wife. Because then it's more like a project, right? That's where we go down that realm of it's a he or she is a project.
Project.
I think you just got to show up for that person, and I think when you there for them for the good, bad, and indifferent, that's helping during that healing process. So that's the only healing you really need to do is showing up. You know, I don't think you need to go in there and be like, okay, well he lacked this or she lacked this. Let me zero in and let me just try to correct that. I think just showing up is correction in itself, right? I think that's the action plan that we all need. It's just showing up. When you're down, I'm here to help lift you up. Or having that wherewithal to know that okay, I know he or she needs a moment. Let me give it to him. Right. That's we said evenly yoked. That's just knowing your personnel, knowing your partner. You know, knowing when he or she is up, knowing when he or she is down, and you got to adjust. Right. And that goes. When you talk about marriage, before marriage, you should be best friends with each other. So you should know each other inside and out. So it's like double dutch. Life is like double dutch. You got to know when to jump in and when to jump out. It's as simple as that for me.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah.
Now we was talking about the emotional trauma, right? Like, does emotional trauma such as unresolved past heartbreak cause more damage to a marriage than physical infidelity? Now, I don't know if any one of y'all cheat, but like, if you haven't, not cheat, but my bad, have cheated. If you haven't, you could just give your opinion on that, right? So, does emotional trauma such as unresolved past heartbreak cause more damage to a marriage than physical infidelity?
You want to answer that first?
I actually need to think about that one. That's a great question.
I'll answer that first. So I've been on the receiving end of both. I've been cheated on, and I've done the cheating. And I would say, of course, not with Marquis. Of course not. I would never. Before it get taken out of context, because some listeners might.
There's also social media. People like to spin it.
People like to spin it.
Yeah.
So I would say it causes the same amount of harm.
Damage?
I mean, yeah, the same amount of damage.
I think that would also be part of a trust factor if the trust is broken.
Yeah. Because either way you spin it, that trust is broken. And depending on the person that you're in the marriage or relationship or the committed relationship that you're in with, it will take some time for that to be. If they willing to continue on, try to work it out, it's gonna take time.
Right. So when we talk about unresolved past heartbreak, like what I meant by that was say if you and Marquis in a relationship and he's still stuck on, or he hasn't fully gotten over his ex, is that more damage to y'all's marriage than him actually cheating because his mind's still on somebody else?
I would still say it's the same.
The same. Okay.
Because at that point you're having an emotional affair, not a physical.
Yeah.
Well, not just an emotional affair. It's like, okay, I could be feeling like, okay, you still thinking about her, but you with me. Why am I here?
You know what that sounds like? That Trey Songz line, like "I be with you, thinking of her."
Yeah, I would be the first to say, why am I here?
Yeah.
Why am I here?
Yeah. Now, one of the things I like to do is have like a question of the day. Like I put it on social media and stuff. Now I've asked that question before, and I was dumbfounded by some of people's comments. A lot of people have told me that they rather be cheated on than somebody be lusting or be still stuck on somebody else, because they was like, the way it was put to me was, you just cheat and get it over with, so I ain't gotta deal with it no more, right? But that's a double-edged sword, because they if you get cheated on, who's to say then they be like, all right, I got it out of my system? They might want more. So that's one of the things that's tough. But if I'm in a relationship and you still stuck in your ex, that is damaging. That's very damaging, because it's a trust thing. How can I trust you? And you could say, oh, I'm over him, but this whole time we was in a relationship, I thought you was over that person, and you still bringing them up. So, oh, this motherfucker did this, or he did this, or even this. One of my pet peeves was this in a relationship. You've been in a relationship and like, oh, I'm glad you do this because my ex never did that. And I'm like, why are we still talking about your ex? Like, I've been in that situation too. And I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm either gonna leave this girl or I'm gonna cheat on her.
And I say the reason for that, I think a lot of people get this, they don't think about it this way. Yeah, physically cheat, go ahead and get it over with, but you still have that's still kind of like an attachment.
Right.
And I think where it's getting confused, I think where a lot of people say they'd rather have the physical because it's a stranger that they don't know, as opposed to you stuck on an ex. You know about that ex. You probably ran into that ex. There's like history there. So yeah, you don't want the physical cheating because there's no history. But the way I see it is, it's no different from having a physically cheating with your ex. You could do that. There's still an attachment there. So that's why I say it's the same.
It's tough. It's tough. Is it absolutely necessary to disclose every detail of your past romantic traumas to your spouse, or is some privacy beneficial?
Some privacy is beneficial. I'm sorry, I got supervisor calling.
Gotcha.
Uh
Um,
that's hard. I would say it's like
and I got to step away for 1 second. Sorry.
I
All right.
gotta. I would say that's kind of hard because it depends. Like, if it's like if you have like a really bad experience, like it was assault or something like that, I would want to know that because then
Right.
it would explain like why you flinch in certain moments and stuff like that. But I mean, if it's something like not as severe as that, I feel like you can keep that to yourself, unless it's like really detrimental to your movements or how you move or
Right.
how you talk to me. Then yeah, tell me. But if not, you can keep it.
Yeah, so that's one of those tough things too. Like I've talked to a lot of people and men and women, they were like, nah, I want to know everything. Or if I'm with you, you gotta tell me everything. But see, this is the thing. I'm one of those people where I divulge everything, right? But then it's hard when you weaponize it too. So it makes me take a
Mhm.
step back and say I can no longer tell anybody in life everything because when that person weaponize it, they have power over you. They know how to break you at that point because you know what I'm saying. So for me, I think that yeah, some things should be kept to yourself. I don't think you got to tell your significant other every single thing. That's just me.
Yeah, I agree. You don't tell everything. Some things is best not to bring up.
Got you. Um, is constructive conflict resolution the ultimate path to healing, or does true healing require time and space away from relationship stress?
Mm,
I say it depends on the person in the relationship, how you resolve conflict. Like Marquis is the one between the both of us. He will want to talk about it right then, right now. We got to address it right now. Me, I'm not like that. I gotta walk away. I gotta take a breather before I respond because I don't want to respond on emotion and say
Right.
something that I don't mean, which could be detrimental later on.
Okay. Now
yeah,
I could agree with that. I often say that like it's okay to have a comfortable silence. I've been in relationships where the my significant other at the time was just like in a relationship that don't exist. I'm like, what? Like, I feel like everybody need that personal space. Sometimes you need to take a step back from the relationship just to gather your bearings or,
Mm.
decompress and things of that nature. But like, I know a lot of people, they be like, red flag. I hate when people say red flags. They say red flags are everything. But yeah, if you say, I need time, I need space from the relationship, no, I don't mean break up or I'm going to move in with my mom
Yeah,
or move out the house. I don't mean that. But I know a lot of people be like, that's a red flag. And I'm like, to me, that's crazy.
you,
So for me, I love when people share the same thought process as me. Go ahead.
yeah. I'm glad you said that because, and we learn to call those certain words trigger words like red flag, 50-50, accountability, things of that nature. You know, one of the things that we agreed when not only when we got married, but when we started dating, we would never fight below the bed. And
Right.
I think that has served us well because it keeps that respect factor between us, even though that we don't agree whatever the issue may be. We know that we still respect each other as not just a couple, but respect each other as people. And I know a lot of people say, well, that's easier said than done, but it works for us. And because of our different disagreement styles, we learn how to uphold that respect for each other. And one of the things that we had to learn once we got married is, well, not even once we got married, but once we started dating, is the different styles of how each other deals with issues. And I think it served us well in marriage because neither one of us, because we got married, neither one of us changed the way that we disagree or uh, however you want to say it, argue. And and it actually kind of leads to a funny thing because we realized that if we don't get whatever the issue is rectified within 24 hours, our days go to hell. And I mean, whatever can go wrong in that day will go wrong. And it's like,
man, the worst day was I don't remember what we was even arguing about. I was still working in the hospitals, and everybody has a set of patients. That's cool, right? That you could just give them, the cheeseburger they want. They cool. They not gonna mess with you, nothing like that. But one particular day, me and him got into it. We just didn't resolve the issue. Everything went to hell. Like people called off, so I got to do extra duties. Patients, complain about everything. They families complain. It was a stressful day.
So it's like,
Right.
after a while, you're like, okay, let me go back and apologize to my wife because this ain't it.
Right. So, are you guys religious?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's powerful. All right. So when you said that, it just reminded me of something. Like, I always said I wouldn't step foot in the church, right, in my adult years, right. But since January, I've been going to church, faithfully every Sunday, and it does change my mindset on a lot of things, right. Like you just said, sometimes you have to do like, let me go apologize to my wife. So like, it's not that I wasn't empathetic because I'm very much empathetic, but like I wasn't one to apologize and things of that nature. So now, even if I feel like I'm right, say if we have a disagreement and stuff, or I act out of character or something like that, I'll come back and I apologize. That's something that walking by faith it has taught me. I'll go back and I'll apologize. I'll try to do that conflict resolution that we was talking about. Like I'm a very peaceful person. I'm very positive, and yeah, so I'm all about positivity. So I like to keep everything cool, calm, and copacetic. So. So yeah, so I only have maybe like 5 more questions for you guys. Uh, so the one of them is trust in a relationship something that is automatically given and then protected, or is it an asset that must be actively earned from day one?
You want to answer or do you want me to go first?
You can go first.
I say that it's something that has to grow as you guys grow. It's not something that's automatically given. You got to prove why you need to be trusted. But the one thing with trust is like a GPA. It's hard to raise it, but it's easy to drop it.
I like that. I like that. That's good.
Okay.
So I like when people play with words. That was pretty good. That was dope. Go ahead, Taylor.
I would have to agree with Marquis on that. I like how he put that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
was
like
good.
how he put that. Yeah.
Okay. So is maturity best measured by age, the number of hardships you have survived, or how you treat others when you are under severe pressure?
I would definitely say mature is not by age because you could be 60 plus and still be acting a fool out here.
Mm, mm.
I
uh,
agree with that. That's why you have certain sayings like wisdom beyond their years.
yeah. I would. I wouldn't. I wouldn't so much say. What was the second option after age?
So I said, is maturity best measured by age, the number of hardships you have survived, or how you treat others when you're under severe pressure?
I would say. I would say it'd be a mixture of how you treat others while under severe pressure and
Hardships you
and
survived.
hardships. I will even throw in there experiences too, because sometimes you could be like you could be like 15 years old and have some experiences that you not any normal. Well, I'm not gonna say normal that a typical 15-year-old would have. For like
Mm,
example, for example, you could be 15 years old and lose your parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have like these siblings, stuff like that, and you be put in a place where you're like the provider now,
right.
Yeah, that's a good example. That's a
right?
very good example.
And then sometimes it might not even be tr- tragedies that's extreme. Like for me, uh I've always been a caretaker in some form of capacity since I was like 14, 15 years old because I had family members, particularly my parents and then my grandparents, they were sick. So I had to learn how to take care of a household and do for myself. Why sometimes everybody else around me like get to go sneak out and go to parties and stuff like that. Some instances I couldn't do that. I had to stay at home and take care of loved ones. So
Okay. Now I'm gonna pick on you real quick, Taylor. Since Marquis answered the first question earlier, he was the guinea pig earlier. So I'm gonna throw this question to you first, and then I'm gonna throw it back to him. So when you and your husband argue, what do you need from him for you guys to be okay again? For you guys to feel okay again? What do you need from him?
Oh, let me get a pen.
oh, that's easy. You got your pen ready?
Mm-hmm.
I need consistency in
Mm.
the resolution. That's what I need. So, and what I mean by that, to explain it a little bit, is you can't just tell me, oh, I understand, just because even though you might sincerely understand, to me, it might come off as, and you seriously write this down, this is funny. Um, it might come off to me as you just telling me okay, so I can stop fussing at you, or so I can stop being upset. And that could just be my mindset. You could legitimately feel like you could, and deep down in your heart, that you mean it, and tell me that and move on. No, I need consistency. Don't just do it for a day or just do it for a couple hours and then go back to the same shit that you just did. No, consistency. Started to make it a habit. That's what I
Mm.
need.
Marquis, when you and your wife argue, what do you need from her in order for you guys to feel okay again?
Don't carry a grudge.
don't don't create a
Don't carry.
grudge.
Yep.
Mm. That's it. That's all you need
Mm-hmm.
from her.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I'm gonna tell you about my wife. First thing is, my wife is great on accountability. Hands down, the best woman I've ever seen in that department.
Right.
Um, she knows how to say sorry. She knows how to apologize. Uh, I have no arguments with that. The only thing I ask, don't carry a grudge.
Okay. So staying with you. Um, when do you feel most supported by your wife, and in what areas do you feel you need additional support?
Oh, let me write this down. That's a good question.
The areas when the area. Wait, repeat the question again. I want to give you the
So,
wrong.
when do you feel most supported by your wife? And then the second part of that is, what areas do you feel you need additional support from her?
Times I feel most supported is when she sees things that I need before I can even say or ask it.
Mm, that's dope.
And she's great at that. When I need support the most, mm,
She's intrigued.
and I think this has more to do with my love language because I think it's changing. The give me more words of affirmation.
Oh, okay. I love that. Taylor, when do you feel most supported by Marquise? And in what areas do you feel like you need additional support from him?
Hmm. I say I feel the most supported. It's kind of opposite. I feel the most supported when he does give me those words of affirmation. Yeah. In the times that I would say I would need a little bit more support, I say with the quality time, the
Mm,
quality time and the time that he's there, like to be more present.
got you. Okay, I hear that. We talk. Marquise brought up the love language. See, for me, my love language is physical touch. Like so, it's so. I want to put this out there because a lot of people don't know what the love languages is. It's only 5 love languages, but people call everything a love language. I'm like, "What's your love language?" "Oh, cooking." I'm like, "That's not a love language."
Mm-mm.
So for me, I say 4 out of the 5 is like equal, but if I had to choose one, I would say physical touch. I'm a very hands-on person, and I need that. Like I told you guys earlier, I still suffer from some childhood traumas, so it's a lot of voids that's in my life. Like, so when I'm in a relationship or I have that person, that connection, like I need that all the time. And I don't mean all the time like a clinger, because I hate clingers. I'm not a clinger, but I love my physical touch. I know some people in a relationship that they hug me. Okay, that's enough. Get off me. I know I need that. I need to feel that warmth. I need to feel that connection. I want to feel valued. I want to feel desired. If I don't feel desire, it's like it's a disconnect. So yeah, for me, my love language is physical touch. I love it. Like I love the cuddle. Like in the morning, I love that. You know what I'm saying? Like I hate to be tickled, but if you tickle me, it's okay because it's that camaraderie. Like it's that bridge that brings us together. So yeah, physical touch is mine. Now he told me his. What is your love language?
Oh, my love language. I think it's changed. It used to be quality time,
Mm.
but I think it's slowly changing. I think it's turned into acts of service.
Access her. Okay.
Yeah.
That's deep. That's deep. Now I've heard people say that, but like that's one of the ones that's is rare. A lot of people don't mention acts of service, right?
Yeah, and I think that comes from the side of me again, like I said, because I'm used to being the caregiver and stuff like that, and I don't mind being there for those close to me, like friends and family, or try to do things for people in need. I'm always the giver and stuff like that. So when it's reciprocated to me, it might take me a minute to accept it and receive it. Like, yo, you don't have to give me nothing for my birthday or whatever like that. But when I do get it, it's like it does feel kind of good. It warms me a little bit.
Got you. I love that. All right, so I have one more question that's kind of touching on what we was just talking about.
Mhm.
So we'll stay with you, Taylor. So what does it feel like when you are hurting, and how could your husband best provide comfort during those moments?
That's a heavy one. Uh, I would say when I'm hurting, it feels like I'm really, really, really tired. And it's funny because me and Marquis just had this conversation not too long ago. When I'm hurting or feel like overwhelmed or anything like that, I would say I'm tired. Like if he used to ask me like how am I feeling? I could be going through the worst pain, whatever, physical or emotional pain. I'll be like, I'm tired. And he'd be like, okay, we'll just go take a nap. So until we had this conversation, I said when I'm tired, I'm not just talking about physical tired, I'm mentally tired. Like I'm just ready to like check out. And I don't mean check out like, take myself out this world,
Yeah.
but like just disconnect from the world a little bit. Like I wanna stop being a wife. I wanna stop being a sister. I wanna stop being a friend. I just wanna be here. And so yeah, I would just feel like a very, very heavy fatigue and I just like don't want to do
So
it
so
anymore.
how can he best provide comfort during those moments?
So, well, he's kind of started to do it now. Just do those check-ins. So when I say I'm tired, he asks specifically, like, is it a mental tired or is it a physical tired? Now, if it's a mental
Right.
tired, he'd be like, okay. He has this thing. He's like, well, penny for your thoughts, asking me what's going on, and he's getting better deciphering from actually giving me a solution than just giving a listening ear. And
Right.
that's how we kind of communicate too. He kind of does it with me sometimes. I guess he feels like I already can decipher what he needs, but
Yeah.
I say, hey, can I have my husband right now instead of like my podcast co-host? Or
Got it.
are you done doing the appraiser thing today? Can I ask you a co-host question? Things like that. So I'll say that's how he can best support me. Just taking off those hats
Hmm.
and being that
Marquise?
husband at the time.
how does it feel when you're hurting, and then how can she best provide comfort during those moments?
Heavy. It definitely feels heavy. Um, and the best way that she can give me comfort, honestly, is just to come and sit with me.
Mm,
Just sit with me and just be in proximity with me and just give me that comfort.
got you. So,
She doesn't have to say anything, but just sit there and be there with me.
got it. Got it. I feel that. I feel that it resonates with me. Yeah, because sometimes a person is not gonna have all the answers. They're not gonna have all the best words to say. Sometimes
Hmm.
just having them present means a lot, right? It goes a long way. So I feel that. I feel that. So anything else you guys want to say as we close out, as far as love, personal growth, marriage?
You want to go first?
Well, I would say this, and this is what we kind of talking about now in our current season of podcast. I would say with any type of relationship, things can things can shift. So we talked about how I was there for Marquis when during the cancer battle and everything like that. So now we're in a season where the roles have reversed. He's been actually been my caretaker because life decided, hey, you're gonna have major surgery. So I'm recovering post surgery. It's been what 10 weeks now.
Hmm.
10 weeks now. So it's a learning experience for both of us. He's learning how to be a caregiver, and I'm learning how to accept the caregiving.
I like that.
Yeah.
Any last words for you, Marquis?
Keep on looking for your person because your person is looking for you.
Got you. And I will say this after speaking to you guys today, and as Marquise was talking, I love how your wife was just looking at you, and vice versa. So I will say this, man. Like there is hope for marriages, and I think for anybody that's looking to get married, they should model their relationships after you guys. Obviously, we don't know every detail about you guys, but just by hearing you guys, like both of you guys said a lot of good things. You unpacked a lot of good things that anybody can take with them as far as the counseling and just being there and just being transparent with each other, because that goes a long way. It's a lot of things in relationships that we let fall to the wayside or we ignore. So just having the wherewithal to know who you're with, knowing what you want out of life, and knowing your own self goes a long way. So yeah, you guys have been great, and you're more than welcome to come on any other episode in the future. It's been a pleasure, and I'm willing to be on y'all's too, because I like it.
Oh yeah,
Oh, you ain't had
You-
no choice because you was
huh?
gonna be stuck. You stuck with us now, so you ain't got to worry about that.
Look,
I love that because go ahead.
Look, I told you that we love to give back. So you can come on our platform. We can chop it up and have some fun. So yeah.
Absolutely, because I'm a talker. Like I talk for days. I don't know if you guys look, but some of my episodes went 3 hours. I think the longest one I ever had was 3.5, and it wasn't by design. It's just like sometimes when it just flows and you don't look at the clock, you just
Mhm.
go, and then you're looking like, "What?" And yeah, because my first faith based one was like 3 hours long, and I was actually trying to end it. My two guests, they was like, "Oh no, we in too deep right now. We got to continue this." I'm like, I don't have no problem with it. I just was being mindful of you guys' time. So, like I said, I'm a natural talker. I love it. So we definitely can set something else up for me to be on y'all's. Y'all come back on mine. So, like I said, we'll stay in touch. And I love what your wife said, because just like you said, I'm stuck with y'all. Y'all stuck with me. That's it. It's family
Appreciate
now.
Appreciate it.
And
Thanks for having us.
if I come to Chicago, I want y'all to show me around.
Most definitely.
Oh, say less.
I got you. All right. Be blessed and enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, you too. Take care.
All right, you too.